Artistically, we have curated this, and I would like to welcome the man behind all this beautiful work. He is not only going to tell us the reason why we are actually the custodians of this tribute, in terms of why are we paying tribute to Babu Gibson Kente, and also his work as is shown on stage. Please welcome Mr. James Momo, our artistic director, on stage.
First of all, I just want to say thank you very much for joining us on this annual event that we do here at the theatre. And this for us is just, it just takes further the concept that this space is now called the Gibson Kente Theatre, to evoke his memory every year, to have a gathering like this every year, and to find a way to curate it differently every year, and to find a way to say Bragib's voice, even though it is from yesteryear, but his voice is very much in sync with what we going through as a country. And Bragib is writing at a time when South Africa is producing some of the most prolific composers. An area in Eastern Cape, some people call it Jazz Town, a Queenstown, a Komani. Ikomani has gifted this country with Maketa Vashe, Todd Machigiza, and some of the finest composers that are known as composers from the Eastern Cape. And this young man called Mtutuzeli, who was, from a very young age, his family took him to the Salvation Army Church, which is where Bragib really interacted with instruments, with music. And these composers that are mentioned were really the genesis of who Gibson Kente became. And so he becomes a very interesting ticket to escapism at a time of anarchy in this country. And for some of us who then grew up hearing about Gibson Kente, growing up in homes where we were not even allowed to go and watch Gibson Kente, you arc that story to today, and I'm meeting a lot of young people who are doing their dissertations. He is not a relic from the past. Gibson Kente is in collision with what is happening now. Gibson Kente is inspiring young wordsmiths that are wanting to sit and find their once upon a time. And they look at his once upon a time and look at somebody who was able to concoct ideas and weave stories and find biographies in those stories and create their collision. And the last thing I want to say is that for us who are the curators of these spaces, the most fascinating thing about working at a theater is that we play with time. There is something so beautiful that we are able to play with time. Last year, Joburg City Theatres produced a production of Fences by August Wilson, and we had the inaugural lecture of Gibson Kente, and we created for the very first time a collision of the two of them. This year we've got a piece by Ndozake Shange, and in this month of Black History Month there's a collision of Gibson Kente and Ndozake Shange. Next year is 70 years since Rosa Parks refused to get off the white section of the bus, and we are already thinking, how can Gibson Kente collide with this matriarch of who came from an era of civil rights movement, and Gibson Kente comes from the apartheid years. And so I just want to say thanks to all of you, thanks to the team at the theater who sees reason for us to have this moment.
Lizi akukhontombe ngithandayo kuthi mangizule uma ngicabanga nawe yanini sithandwa sami angazi uyazina ngiswela amaphiko bengizongiza ngidizela phezulu ngize ngifike kuwe